us welcome our own Dennis Alstrand.
Waking up to being good enough. That's what this is all about today. And let's send this thing into a higher gear. Can I get a ribbon? A damn right. Come on, damn right. Thank you, one person. All right. This one's, there's a bit of irony here in that the reason why I picked this subject was because I was asked to do a talk and I was very nervous about doing it. And in a class that we had with Rev Bev, she taught us how the importance of feeling like you're good enough. So I wanted to pursue that. In fact, about a week ago, I was feeling really nervous. And I didn't really know why, and the voices started going back and forth. Hey, man, you nervous? Yeah, I'm nervous. What are you nervous about? I don't know. Do you think it might have something to do with the fact that next week you're going to be giving a talk in front of a bunch of people? That might be it. What are you nervous about? You never know what's going to go on when you give a talk. You might forget stuff. I might mess stuff up. I might get run on a rail. I might get dragged and grabbed and run out of town by people with rakes and pitchforks. A little dramatic. I'm overdoing it a little bit. I don't really think people are going to have pitchforks here today. But what about doing this talk? I've done about 10 of them or so, and they all work out fine. There's only one difference with this one. I'm going to tell a joke. You guys ready for a joke? Yeah. All right. Two kids, two boys are brothers, and they're terrors. These kids are terrors. They break things. They run around the house. They scream. They yell. They're like me and my brothers when we were kids. And the mom and the dad can't do anything about it. They can't stop them. They can't shut them up. The kids are up late at night yelling, screaming. Finally, the mother goes, I got an idea, Bob. What if we were to take them down to our pastor and let the pastor talk to them and let them see the way that they should be? And Bob goes, sounds like a good idea. So they ask the pastor, and the pastor says, yeah, bring them on, but just one at a time. Like, bring the oldest one in first. I'll talk to him. So the mom leaves the youngest one at home, brings the oldest boy down to the church. The pastor sits him down. They stare eye to eye. The boy isn't saying anything. So the pastor goes, where is God? And the kid goes, but doesn't say anything. And the pastor goes, thinks for a second, goes, where is God? And the kid just gets more nervous, doesn't say a word. The pastor is getting mad now. He goes, where is God? Kid stands up, runs out of the church, doesn't even wait for a ride, runs all the way home, runs into the house, up to his brother's bedroom, grabs him, brings him into the closet. What's wrong? He goes, they've lost God and they think we stole him. All right. Simple works for me. Being good enough is a simple concept. Being good enough is an important concept because the opposite, when you feel like you're not good enough, everyone here feels like that now and then. And if you don't, you're Superman or Superwoman, and I admire the hell out of you. But everyone feels it. And see if you recognize yourself in this list. We don't feel like we're good enough, or we're going to not be good enough. We start criticizing ourselves. We try to think about being perfect. We avoid doing the thing. We compare ourselves to others, of course. We limit our beliefs. Have any of you had these feelings lately? Yeah. It's normal for us humans, but it's also normal for dogs and other animals. And I realized this when we brought our dog to a groomer, cute little dog, and she came out with all these colors all over, like a purple tail and pink ears or something like that. And she came out to the car like, hey, here I am. What do you think? And I was going, look at those ears. Look at that tail. And she just went into depression. She really did, man. Bad dentist. But she kind of was like, oh, I feel bad. So now every time we drop her off at the groomer and pick her up, I'm always like, no matter what, you're beautiful, man. You look great. And she's all excited. can't overestimate or can't overstate the importance of feeling like we're enough. We are enough, but just to say it doesn't always help. There's some things we can do. And I've come up with 4 of them, 4 categories. One category would be embrace the moment that you're in. Another one is do a science of mind treatment. Another one is read about other regular humans who do stuff that are enough. This one really helped me, by the way. And another one is frequent affirmations. Embrace the moment. When I was getting ready for this, I watched a lot of spiritual talks, and it's amazing how many of them say, be in the moment. Embrace the moment. Feel the moment. You know, hear sounds with your ears. I can hear the fan. I can hear cars going by. Smell smells with your ears, depending who you're around, of course. And Eckhart Tolle teaches that the feeling of not being good enough is an illusion created by the mind. By embracing our present moment awareness and recognizing our inherent value, we can let go of these limiting beliefs and experience a deeper sense of self-acceptance. Science of mind treatment is an interesting thing to do because you can do it really quickly. Like when Sandy did her treatment, it was beautiful, swirling images, people swirling around each other and that sort of thing. But what I found is that you can do it in seconds. For example, I was coaching a Special Olympics softball team, and everyone on the field was nervous, and I realized it was because I, the coach out in the field, was very nervous myself. So I said to myself, and here's the first 2 steps of the science of mind treatment. God is everything. We are one with God. God is everything. We are one with God. And just by putting my hands together like that, I calmed down, and we calmed the whole team down. And might I add, they won a gold medal that day. Yeah. God is everything. I am one with that God. Thinking about other regular humans, I say regular humans because there's some just superhuman people that do stuff we couldn't even think about. But there's a story that I know of because I'm a real fan of a band that's been around for years called Yes. Anyone know those guys? Yes, yes. All right. Their music is complicated. They're a progressive rock band. They're like a classical music band, but done in rock music. And back in '72, they were on the rise. They had a good album that sold pretty well, but this next album that they made called Close to the Edge was going to be their make or break album, is how they felt. This is the time that they're going to do it. It's a beautiful album. If you ever get a chance to listen to Yes, Close to the Edge, I recommend you listen to it. There was only one small caveat on this highway to success that Yes was on, and that is the fact that their drummer, Bill Bruford, quit the band 3 days before they're going to go on a worldwide tour of this album, Close to the Edge. The drummer, only the most important instrument in the band, quits the job. So the big question is, Yes ask themselves, do we cancel the world tour and lose all this money? Or do we get someone who can learn all our music in 3 days? They went for option B, which is pretty daring of Yes to do. And they found a guy who was completely different than Bill Bruford, a guy by the name of Alan White, who said, without thinking, I'll do it. I can learn all your stuff in 3 days. I've heard your albums. I haven't heard your new stuff yet, but I can do it. So 3 days full of rehearsals, getting to know the band, getting to know his feel for his own style of drumming. And by the end of the 3rd day, he called himself ready, and the band called him ready. Alan White, you're ready to do it. We're going to play our first concert tomorrow. Didn't even think about it, went through the night, went through the next morning, got to the concert, didn't think a word about it, and just played that concert, and he did beautiful. He did great. It was a great concert. And then he started the thoughts. What am I doing here, man? These guys are great musicians. Am I good enough to be playing with these guys? This is after the first gig. I'm not good enough to be playing with these guys. I am not enough. I am not enough. So the 2nd day sucked. I mean, Alan White went out there and it was horrible, and they talk about it to this day. And I'm not sure exactly how they do it, but the band and Alan got together and said, you can do this. you can do this, man. This is our make or break moment. You're good enough. You can do it. And Alan White did it, and he stayed in that band as a drummer for like about 40 years until the day he died, and he was a great drummer. But to me, he's a regular guy, a good drummer who said, I can do it, I can't do it, and then remind himself that he could. So a story like that really helps me, really thinking about people can go do things. Me standing up here and giving a talk is nothing like giving a concert in front of 20,000 people in an arena. So not bad. Finally, the fourth category is affirmations. Affirmations. We were taught in a class to come up with an affirmation, and say it to yourself 100 times at least once a day. So, like, I am good enough, I am good enough. I only got one problem with affirmations. You guys remember Stuart Smalley from Saturday Night Live? He was acting like he had this TV show of self-help guy. He's looking in the mirror going, I'm smart enough, I'm good enough, and gosh darn it, people like me. You got it. So I'm going, I'm good enough? I sound like Stuart Smalley. I don't want to sound like Stuart Smalley. I got to come up with something else. I don't know what it's going to be yet, but sometime by the end of this talk, I'll come up with something that replaces I'm good enough. The challenge is on. Anyway, affirmations do work. And if I'm smart or I'm good enough is one that works for you, walk down the road by your house 100 times. I'm good enough. I'm good enough. It really does work. You just keep overdoing your defenses. Your defenses start going, okay, you're good enough already. I'll come up with the answer, what I'm going to replace it with. Chris Carr is a wellness advocate and public speaker. She says you can't please everyone. When you're too focused on living up to other people's standards, you aren't spending enough time raising your own. Some people may whisper, complain, and judge, but for the most part, it's all in your head. People care less about your actions that you think, and why? They have their own problems. I like that quote. They got their own problems. What are you guys? Maya Angelou says simply, you are enough. You have nothing to prove to anybody. And there's some guy that I think is standing up at the podium who says, walk as if you are enough. Talk as if you are enough. Act as if you are enough. Enough is enough. Stay with this. You got this. I like that one. You got this. Maybe. Ernest Holmes. God wills us to have everything. As we express life, we fulfill God's law of abundance. But we do this only as we realize that there is good enough to go around, only as we know that all of God's gifts are given as freely and fully as the air and the sunshine. See, even the universe is good enough for Ernest Holmes. Speaking of Ernest Holmes, in this last class we took, I think you remember this, he talked about, this was really cool. It doesn't seem like something Ernest Holmes would come up with, but he talked about the little people that could be inside of us. Right? For example, when I say wake up to being good enough, every morning when I wake up, before I even open my eyes, I do this every morning. I start doing a check-in. Hey, you guys, little people are in there in the body, in the arms, legs, brain, everywhere. How you guys doing? How's that arm doing? All right, boss. How's the leg? Good to go, chief. How about those feet? Right on, boss. How about you in the brain? I don't know. I got a little problem. No, I got it. I got this. So that's a good way to wake up every day, and it's actually also a good way to go to sleep. The only problem is I fall asleep too fast. I'm like, all right, let's do a check. I must be doing all right. So that's what I say when wake up to being good enough. It means wake up every day and remind yourself with whatever phrase you want to do, you're good enough. And on a clear day, beauty will astound you. On a clear day, take a look around you, because you'll be able to see forever and ever more. And I wish somehow, some way I could hear that song right now. It's such a beautiful song. Trish gave me the lyrics last week, and I went, that is beautiful. All right. I want to thank you all for being here with me. Thank you all, and I hope that you've got something out of this. Got a fist in the back. All right, give me a rara. Rara. All right. Trish, please take it.